So, here we are along the San Gabriel River bike path. I started this ride a little earlier, and I want to highlight some of the things I saw along the ride today. First up, one of my favorite things in the world, a train. I've loved trains since I was a kid, and somehow I end up seeing one almost every ride. Had to stop for a minute and watch it roll by.
We won't wait for the whole thing.
I'm heading north now, and one thing that surprised me today is how much water is in the river. For May, this is a pretty healthy flow. Usually things are looking much drier now. But coming up here is one of the sketchier spots on this bike path. This is a narrow tunnel that goes under Whittier Boulevard, and it can get dangerous, and there has been a lot of crashes here. Usually when we have riders or groups coming from both ends, as you'll see here.
I'm not tired.
It's a pretty narrow bike path, only enough room for 2 bikes to pass each other. So it is a clog. I almost had a crash here one time, right here. Some guy was coming down right in the middle. It's best to yell a warning when you're in the tunnel so somebody can hear you. Woohoo! Okay, so now we're on the other side of the river. I crossed over, and to my left side is the Rio Hondo Golf Course, or better yet, the driving range there. Those are the driving nets. And to my right is the San Gabriel riverbed. Right ahead here, we're coming up to the Whittier Narrows Dam, the San Gabriel water gates here. Here's the floodgates right here, and if you see the construction, those tanks across the top up there, they fill those with water to counterweight those gates to lift them. Very ingenious.
Damn.
These couple of riders is going to pass me later on going up the Rio Hondo path, but that's okay. I ride at my own pace these days. No racing. Now this is the back side of the dam, or the actual dam where the water would be if it was flooded. And usually in the wintertime when it's raining hard, we have water crossing right here. And this section here is flooded with the water flowing right to left over those rocks there, going into the other half of the dam. I had an experience earlier this winter.
During the rain.
It wasn't too bad, but I made it.
I had to do a water crossing earlier this year.
Okay, we're coming up at this junction we're coming to here. If you look straight, that way takes you straight up into Lake and the park. But we're turning left here onto the Rio Hondo path connector. So now we flashed over to the Rio Hondo path ahead, and I'm coming up to some police activity here. underneath this overpass, which usually means in the past that somebody died or some kind of heinous thing went on. And so they blocked the path here to do their investigation. As you see cops pulling up. Now I'm going to sketchily try to cross here in front of all these police, right across the damn jaywalk across the street here. Hopefully they don't buzz me. But what's this thing there? Double timed it up here to not bore you with my traffic crossing skills. Yeah, kind of bad pavement on this side of the path here. It needs to be resurrected, I believe, but you know what? They don't have money for everything. So now here I am on Rio Hondo, and here's a airplane landing right next to me on the El Monte Airport.
When it's raining.
Okay, now we're coming up to the Peck Road Park Lake Dam with a completely full lake. There was water spilling over the spillway there. Usually isn't that full this time of year because, like I said, it's late in the year and we're getting ready for summer. But I think they've released water from the upper dams, San Gabriel and Santa Clara dams. So there you go. I pulled up into the park up ahead and took a 30-minute break, rehydrated, refueled, got my head straight, and got ready for the next 25 miles back home going down south. Now we're after the break, we're back on to the San Gabriel River going south. I transitioned over the 2-mile portion in El Monte on the streets. Again, surprising amount of water this late in the year. Confluence of the San Jose Creek and San Gabriel River, and I encounter a family of geese in the middle of the trail trying to take their kids on a walk, I guess, so I slowed down for them. A nice bicyclist. After that, we dropped down off the main trail and dropped onto a service road inside the dam bowl where they have the pumps and the other machinery that controls the flooding in this area when it does flood, which isn't now, of course. To my left is one of the pump houses. And because this is the lake bottom, it's very lush in the summer after the rains because this place gets a lot of water that collects. Now we're coming up to some spring bloom going on, not the super bloom like we get some years, But this is a nice little spring boom. These are mustard plants that were introduced by the Spanish missionaries that came here, and they're not a native species, but they've very invasive and have pretty much taken over the whole Southern California and the hills and the brush. Beautiful in the spring, but deadly in the fall when they dry out and become brush fire fodder. All right, now we've come all the way down the river here to the spreading grounds. Here, this pond you see on my left is one of the water replenishment ponds that collect water diverted from the river and putting into these ponds to percolate down into the ground and to join the aquifer and refeed our wells in the area. Very ingenious thing they did after the channelization of the rivers and during after the Great Flood of 1938. So there are about 12 of these ponds along this path, and they fill up incrementally as more and more water is introduced into the system here. This here appears to be the last one for this one. I think it's like 4 or 5 of them. There's, again, about 5 more below this point. One is partially filled. Day today, May gray they call it, our usual weather pattern. Cloudy in the morning and cool, and then in the afternoon it burns off and we get a little heat for a minute. So now here's the bonus. I'm going to come down here and do a loop to show you the amount of water in this lake, and most of them are about this size. But then when I whip around and look at my exit, I notice another train, and then another train. 3 trains on one ride. Oh my, it's a record, bro. I gotta sit here and watch them roll by. It was a great ride. This is the finish of it. I finished this about another 15 miles till I get home from here, and I'm pretty toasty, and I am real toasty at the end of it. So this ride did accomplish its goal of training and getting me in shape for this summer's activities, such as it were. 2 trains in one, 3 trains in one day. I am blessed, if that's a blessing. So, with this, we'll be heading on to the pad and finish off into this headwind I didn't mention. Finish this ride off. So, adios amigos and forever forward.